Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here today. We're going to take a quick look at audio, which is a pretty big request from the community. Not only that, but my patrons as well. Everyone wants to know a little bit more about audio because it does look like it's on the rise. So we'll take a look at that. Of course, and if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor by any means. I've just been trading for over 15 years, and I love to teach people how to become better traders. I have a Signal group/trading community. Link in the description below for that to help you become a better trader. So be sure to check that out in your own time. And that's the main reason why I created this channel, is to help others become better, right? That's just, it gives me great joy to be able to do that. So just know that you make a difference if I learn or teach you something here today, right? If you learn something, great stuff. Super happy about that. All right, so audio. Let's take a quick look at here first. Obviously, we want to look at the big picture and just kind of see. It does have an all-time high upwards about $5 even. Let's mark that guy just real quick so we don't forget about it later. We're a ways off from that, but all good. Let's also mark where the one-day candlestick had closed, right? Because that's a very important initial resistance. It's not the all-time high, but it's basically the range, right? Because you can see right here recently, what was that date here? Right on the 17th of August, it tested and rejected that level. Okay, it's like, nope, not getting past here, right? So that's a strong resistance channel between basically just say 405 and $5. Okay, so let's go ahead and just go through the traditional technical analysis that I like to do myself. I go from top to bottom. Then we'll take a look at Fibonacci retracement, kind of forecast the future, right? Now, take a look here, of course, RSI is up over 50, under 70, that's perfect. More gas left in the tank, so we could essentially continue the upside here. What's great about this as well is we are at a 5. We still have about 4 more days worth of continuous momentum. At least there's potential for that. It doesn't necessarily have to happen, but that could happen, right? What's also great, price is above the 50-day simple moving average, and that's working as a support level here. And regarding the MACD, not much to disseminate there, just bullish momentum, right? Taking a look at the 4-hour. Very similar scenario here as well for the moving averages. In fact, we had a golden cross recently, which didn't do anything at all. It really doesn't matter when you have Bitcoin selling off, 5 to 10% in one day, right? That changes things. But audio bounced back, right? We can obviously tell it's done very well in the last few days here. And all in all, I like what I see here. We got this nice wedge pattern essentially forming, so there's a great chance we might see a continuation of the upside, especially we have a good 3 or 4 days left in this bullish momentous trend. It's a good chance we'll see that. Bear in mind, we do have a potential divergence in the MACD, but that's pretty standard considering how much it increased here recently. That's just kind of the kickback from Bitcoin selling off earlier today. RSI is in good shape too. So we're looking really good here. All in all, I see more bullish than bearish signs, which is fantastic. Looking at the 1 hour, let's go ahead and just jump right into the Ichimoku cloud. All right, I love this too. Look at this. Now, it didn't happen so much here, but it did happen here. In other words, the price is essentially bouncing off of the cloud, right? So the price is still above the cloud right now, which is a great sign. So unless the price will drop below the cloud here in the next, just say, would that be maybe 8 to 12 hours, then we're going to be in pretty good shape. That would be a good confirmation of where the price is trending, right? So pay attention to what happens right here, okay? We'll get a bounce off the cloud. We're in really good shape. And big picture too, if you're new to the channel, Ichimoku Cloud, when you enable it at first, it's a big mess. Don't get me wrong, these are all very beneficial indicators I still use on the side. But you don't need all that. When you're starting out, just the plots background is enough. And that essentially gets you what you see here, with the price being above the cloud, buy signal, below the cloud, sell signal. Simple as that. That's how it works. So that's kind of the general guideline for the Ichimoku cloud. Now, TD sequential, let's take a look at that here. And we can see that we had a pretty significant sell-off here once we hit a 9. And look at that, no coincidence. Price comes up to a 9, resets, comes back down, hits a 9, goes sideways, and now it's consolidation. Okay, so consolidation gets a little jagged. You see anywhere from a 1 to a 6, 1 to a 5. But generally speaking, when you're on a nice bullish momentous trend, you can tell that it's going to hit a 9, and it should likely reset by, if nothing else, going sideways or retracing. Now, as we can tell here, this ramp up from here to here kind of resulted in a 50% retracement. So if we take a look at the Fibonacci retracement, we can kind of see that halfway point 50, the price pretty much came down and bounced off of that support level. Okay. That's why I always teach my patrons, hey, anytime you have a significant increase, it's going to be followed by, on average, about a 50% retracement. That's kind of just the general concept. So you don't even need to understand how Fibonacci retracement works. The major, most relevant support line is right in the middle, smack dab. It's considered 0.5 for a reason, because that's where the price almost always retraces. But anyways, this is like a perfect example of what TD sequential should look like when you get a 9 and a reset all the way back down. All right, so I think we've looked at most everything. Well, one last thing, let's take a quick look at the volume profile and just see. And this is nice. This kind of reiterates the fact that this is a support level here. So that's right at that 0.5 measure. So why don't we just go ahead and mark that as well. I think the volume profile visible range is really telling us a lot in the sense that the most volume is accumulating at about 254. So therefore the price coming down, for example, and we also look at just say the Ishimoku cloud, say the price comes down and bounces right here, we're going to be in really, really good shape to see to the upside. So I'm going to go ahead and set an alert for 255, and we're going to see if we get a bounce. Okay. So I hope that that happens. But basically, the volume speaks loudly if you're listening. No pun intended with audio. I just realized that. But it's one of those things where people don't really look at the volume. Yes, you got these little bars down here. That doesn't tell you too much. But if you know specifically where the volume's lining up the most, where it's allocating, that's pretty much just a strong support level. And on top of that, we have already confirmed that this is basically the Fibonacci retracement point for this little time frame. So for the last 4 days, we've seen some pretty decent movement. Let's go ahead and predict, right? Let's go ahead and predict the future, see what's going on. Wow, look at that. Interesting enough. The price action, based on the amount of movement in the last 5 days, right? We should expect the price to be closer to test its resistance level, at least the first one, right? In other words, it may not hit that. What I'd recommend doing, because this is pretty much the highest point which we should see on this bullish trend. Let's go ahead and spread that out a little further. Right around 393. So I'd say 390 would be a good profit target if you're going to take entry and try to go to the upside. But more importantly, I would say realistically 370 in the next week or two. And the reason why I say that is because we've seen what? In the last 5 days, we've seen an increase of approximately 40%, right? So to get that additional 40% extra, we need to have, first of all, a consolidation period, right? We need a little more consolidation. Yes, it's doing so right now, but I don't think it's quite there yet. So what I'm hoping for is, again, for the price action to come down, bounce off the support level, and then, of course, with the resistance level somewhere up here, breaking 291. So let's go ahead and mark 291. What we should see is an ascending wedge pattern come to fruition within the next week or two. Technically, no, that's going to be much sooner, come to think of it. That little wedge pattern will likely be tested within the next, I don't know, two or 3 days. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to see if I can add to my position or take a position closer around 255, where the most amount of volume is, if it can retrace that far, and then take a position, of course, and consider my profit target. That's wrong one. I'm going to shoot for about a 15% gain up to the resistance level, about 290. I think that'd be a pretty good little consideration there. So anyways, audio is looking very good. I like the ascending wedge pattern. More bullish than bearish trends here. It's just in a state of consolidation. If it can come down just a little bit lower, it'd be a really awesome entry point to bounce off support at about 255. So I hope you found benefit here. If you do, like and subscribe, pass it on. And definitely don't hesitate to jump into my trading community, because this month is the last month we're offering a promotion, where next month it'll actually be a higher rate, of course, just based on demand. But bottom line right now is the price action is, or sorry, the price of that rather, I'm stuck on trading. The price is essentially you'd be locked in for your duration of your membership if you start before the end of November. Again, just something to consider. Totally all good if you don't check that out. Learn as much as you can from the videos too. Don't get me wrong. I just have more of a hands-on, one-on-one approach with that trading channel or that community. And I also send out signals for every single trade that I take. So we're all just kind of enjoying the profits together. It's really fun. About an 85 to almost 90% success rate here recently. So really cool stuff. Thanks again for your time. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.